Chick-FeLaShe-O. We pay for our dreams. Like, share, subscribe to the page. Tell your friends about the page. So today I'm going to be talking about my first experience in Cartagena, Colombia, and how I went about it. And I'm going to tell you what I believe that people should do. Now, again, if you don't have your passport, the links are in the description box. It tells you how to get your passport, where to go to get your passport, and also in the description box, it has the status update of your passport. Also in the description box, it has the checkpoint that you're gonna need before you visit the country. You go on that site, and just remember, guys, if you go on the Colombian site for the checkmag thing, understand that the United States is not in English, it's in Spanish. So you have to look for it. It's in Spanish, and make sure you fill that out. As far as the other one that's in there is the Dominican e-ticket. That's in English, and it tells you everything in English. So my experience in Colombia, Cartagena. So when I first went, I flew into Miami. Then from Miami, I flew to Cartagena. When I first got there, I will admit, there is no smell in that country. It doesn't smell like anything, but it's such a beautiful country. City in the country, I would say. When I flew in, it looked like I went from Miami back to Miami. It's so beautiful, unbelievable how it looks. I said, this is amazing. And when I got there, my hotel was literally 2 blocks from the airport, which was amazing because I just walked from the airport to my hotel. It was crazy. I loved it. So when you get there, you got to understand that you're in another country. So people there, they're poor, but it's not that expensive. So basically, they don't have to work as hard, but they have to work, I would say. But it's not like DR, or it's not like any other country, because the cab rides are $5, right? I'm not joking with you. The cab rides are $5, and I'm also not joking with you. And I'll tell you about that in a second, about the room that I got. I'll tell you what happened with that. But anyway, so my experiences at night, I finally went out. Me and my guy friend, my boy, we went out, and I kind of felt like when I first went to Dominican Republic, it was more of a culture shock when I first went to Dominican Republic, but with this one, it was a little more different. So I knew what I was expecting, but at least I thought I knew what I was expecting. But boy, when I tell you, when I went to the Wall City in the clock tower, oh man, whew, it felt so different. It felt so good. It felt like when I went inside there, and I seen all the women, and I seen all the people, and I seen people just walking around and talking and happy and drinking. It just felt like an experience. I just was like, wow, I can't believe this. And there were girls just standing there, just beautiful women just standing there. And me, I'm like, okay, let me see if I can trying to work the room a little bit, because I want to get these. So I just started getting numbers. And when you approach a woman from Colombia, understand that you can't approach her the same way you approach women in other countries that are prostitutes or hookers or pay to play. You can't approach them the same way, because they don't receive it the same way. They kind of make you belittle you a little bit, because when you go up to them and say, you have WhatsApp, they usually, 90% of them that I came across, some of them took the number, but 90% of them I came across, they would say, what's your name? They'll show you the Google Translate and they'll say, hey, what's your name? Before you get my WhatsApp, what's your name? And I'm not gonna say, I would say that's a little bougie, but at the same time, you gotta respect it. You gotta respect it. So what they were doing was, basically wanting to get to know you before you listening. And they don't get upset about it. They don't get upset. That's the thing about them. Those women out there, they really don't get too upset about things like the Dominican Republic. It's a little bit different. And I don't want to compare it, but I'm just going to say that. So once I started moving around and getting the lay of the land mapped out, I realized that this place is something special. This is not just your regular place. Like, I was like, wow, this is great. So met up with a couple of girls. First night I was there, I had a threesome. It's great. It was great. It was so great. It was great. It was great. It was something that I experienced before, but I think it was a little bit different this time. A little bit different because they were a little more into it. And that's another thing I would say about the Colombian women. Because a lot of the women from Colombia, you're going to meet some women from Colombia. You're also going to meet a lot of women from Venezuela. And a lot of those women from Venezuela, what they're going to do is, they're different. They're in Colombia, but they're from Venezuela. And there's some Venezuelan women in Dominican Republic too. But you're going to meet a lot of Venezuelan women in Colombia, in Cartagena. The prices with Colombian women are a little more hard to negotiate with, because again, they don't really need your money, because especially if they get a price. So if you pay them a certain amount, they're gonna expect that from every guy. Now, I'm the type of guys, I don't count people's pockets, and I'm the firm believer of, if you pay a girl $1,000, I don't care. I don't care if you pay her $1,000. That's your money. You do what you want. I'm not saying that you're ruining it for other men. It is what it is. My thing is, there's plenty of other women. So I don't get stuck on one woman and be like, oh, I can't believe that she don't want. I don't get stuck on it. I just keep it moving, because there's too many out there to be stuck. So what are we here for? That's what we're here for. We're here to, sleep with these women, and we're not going to be sleeping with just one. So a lot of these guys, that's the mentality they have. Anyway, so the women, I would say, is a little more upscale. Now, as far as the bodies go, I went into this one club called Delirium, and when I tell you that a good portion of these women in that club, I don't know if it was the Monkey Bar, but it was one of those clubs I went into. I can't remember the exact name. Anyway, they look like the guys who dealt with them were high rollers. These girls were Botox lips, breast implants. Some of them had butt implants, but they didn't look bad. They looked actually good with it. Like the surgeries that they had were actually really good surgeries. But you also had some other women who didn't have surgeries, and they were phenomenal looking. And that's one thing I would say. Cartagena, Colombia has some of the best looking women I ever seen in my life. Unbelievable. I'm talking like their facial structure is damn near perfect. The lips, the eyes, like just beautiful, just so beautiful. And that's what it is. So the experience with the women was very, very, very good, very good. As far as the food goes, I think Colombia is my favorite place to eat right now. The food was absolutely epic. When I tell you epic, and this is crazy, from the lowest, I'm talking like sausage and peppers on the street, up to red snapper fish with rice and beans and a drink. But the best part about all that is the food is cheap. It's not even expensive. When you get your bill, you're gonna be like, there's no way I'm paying for a red snapper fish, which here alone, red snapper fish in America alone is like $20. There's no way I'm paying for red snapper fish, rice, beans, and a drink, whether it's water or whatever, alcohol, whatever is your twist, for $14. There's no way in the world I'm getting this double cheeseburger with fries and a drink for $7. And I'm talking better. You just don't understand. It was epic. Unbelievable. The food is absolutely great there. I will say that. Now, the downside of that's more the pros, but the cons, I would say, some of the people in the airport wasn't pleasant at all. You know, they did me dirty, you know, and I think that, you know, they could have did a better job of handling how they did certain things in the airport. So I would say that the airport people was kind of a little bit nasty. You know what I'm saying? They really didn't, you know, focus. Not all of them, because there was one girl that actually did help me, and I appreciated her. But the other ones, like, nah. Then as far as the taxis were pretty decent, you know, but I would say the cons on that one is where I stayed at, it was so far from the wall city. You couldn't walk there. I mean, technically you can walk there, but it would take you no, you can't walk there. It's too far. You wouldn't be able to walk there from where I was staying at. You wouldn't be able to walk there. If you did, it'll take you about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. You don't want to do that. It was literally too far. So that's probably the cons that I would say in my eyes. I really can't think of nothing else. If I do, I'm kind of nitpicking. But, you know, that's about it. Now, as far as the room goes, where I stayed at was pretty decent. I liked it. It was owned by a young black guy named Brandon. If you guys ever come across Brandon, and he's on Airbnb, if you see his name, he's a black guy, and he has two spots on there, and I think that you guys can look him up, and he will help you out. And he's a pretty good guy. He's actually a really good guy, really good guy. He really good. He helped out a lot. He took us out the first night we was there, so shout out to him. Now, as far as the other hotel I stayed at, and this is what makes Colombia so great. I didn't miss my flight. They had a delay, so they made me miss my other flight. So I think in Medellin, there's only one flight that goes to Miami a day, something like that. So you have to make sure you catch that flight, because if you don't, you're gonna be stuck there. So if you miss the flight, you miss the flight, and that's how it goes, right? So I had to stay again another day. So I went on booking.com and I booked a room. My room was 9,000 pesos for one night. And this is why I say Colombia shines. It was 9,000 pesos. That's only $2.23. Yeah, you heard me right. $2.23 for a room for the whole night. For the whole night. And the room was decent. So again, that's my experience with Cartagena, Colombia. Now, would I recommend people go? Absolutely. I would definitely go. And I'm planning on going again probably sometime this year. I don't know yet. I can't plan on going again. And for all those that say, well, it's not safe, it's more safer than going to parts of America. I will say that. It's just the fact that you are on another land. That's it. But as far as that goes, I really didn't worry about that because nobody approached me. And for the most part, everybody was just asking to buy beer or buy something off of them. And, I don't drink, so I don't buy no beer or whatever. But, and another, I would say another con is to children. So when you're going around at nighttime, especially when you're in the wall city, there's hundreds and hundreds of kids. And they all come up to you asking you for money. And it's like they do that in every country, but it's a little more annoying there because they constantly keep doing it. I had to constantly tell this little girl, no. And then one of the girls that I were with, she told her in Spanish, like, she kind of got angry and told her, like, no. So, overall, it was a great experience. I would definitely do it again, and I would recommend other people do it too. Chick-FeLaShe-O. Like, share, subscribe to the page. Tell your friends about the page. If you're having any trouble with getting your passport or how to go about getting your passport or whatever, just look in the description box and you'll see my email in there. Just email me and I'll email you back and I'll tell you what to do, what not to do, and I'll tell you what flights are good, what flights are not good, and that's it.